The debate of who the greatest basketball player of all time is one of the most controversial topics that exist. The argument between Michael Jordan and LeBron James will go on for years. Today, I am here to tell you why MJ tops the list just over another all-time great, LeBron James. Michael entered the league in 1984 and averaged an astounding 28 points per game. He continued to dominate the league for the rest of the 80s, winning multiple scoring titles. But not only did MJ get it done on the offensive end, he was also one of the best defensive players in the league. He alone is the only player to ever be named MVP, First Team All-Defense, win an NBA championship, lead the league in scoring, and win Finals MVP in the same year. But the craziest thing is that he did it 4 times. An article written by Kenneth Schuler states, "The truth is in the numbers. His career average of 31.7 points per game is an all-time record. In the more difficult postseason, Jordan somehow increased this tally to 33.6 points, another all-time record. He owns 9 NBA scoring titles, 2 more than Wilt Chamberlain, who dominated the courts in the 1960s. But Jordan isn't confined to mere shooting prowess. He has been named to the NBA All-Defensive First Team 8 times as well. Because of this, MJ was highly regarded as the best player of his time. But as his play continued throughout his career, people started to realize that his talent and athleticism were generational, and they might have been witnessing greatness. They watched him win 3 titles in a row throughout the years of 1991, 1992, and 1993, retire for 2 years, then come back and win 3 titles in a row again in the years 1996, 97, and 98. He ended up going 6-0 in the finals, which to this day has never been done again. It's also reasonable to believe that if he didn't retire for 2 years, then he would have added 2 more titles to his resume, giving him 8 in total. On the other hand, LeBron went 4-6 in the finals and had some of the worst performances we've ever seen from a star player. During the 2011 NBA Finals, LeBron James averaged 17 points per game. For reference, the lowest points Jordan ever scored in a finals game was 22. An article written by Brian Mahoney interviewed LeBron following the Game 4 loss, and this is what he had to say. "We have one game, that's it. The great thing about this is that it's a series. No matter if you have a bad game, you can always make an imprint on the next game. Game 5 is a huge game for us." James then went on to lose Game 5 after another terrible performance. To put it simply, it matters how you play on the biggest stage, and it's clear that Jordan always performed at the top of his game while LeBron didn't. This is why many players in the league today believe that Jordan is the greatest of all time. A recent study on Bleacher Report proved this, stating, "According to NBA players, the GOAT debate consists of only 2 players and everyone else is in a distant rearview mirror." Michael Jordan edged out LeBron James as the greatest player in NBA history. According to a poll of 133 players conducted by The Athletic, Jordan received 45.9% of this vote, while James came in at 42.1%. The titles and accolades are very convincing for Jordan, but what seems to be even more convincing is the credibility of the people in the league that know the game of basketball far beyond anybody else in the world. The only thing that LeBron does have on Jordan is his longevity and his career totals. James is currently playing in his 20th year in the league and is still putting up good numbers. He's been playing for so long that he's now playing on a team with his son, Bronny James. Yet, MJ did more in 13 years in the league than LeBron has in 20 years, further proving that Jordan tops the list. But also, when looking at greatness, you have to look beyond championships, stats, and accolades, and look at the impact that Jordan has had on the game of basketball. He brought basketball to a worldwide stage and influenced millions of people to love basketball. One of those players being Allen Iverson, a Hall of Fame NBA player. Here's a clip from his Hall of Fame induction speech.
Allen Iverson, standing at this podium, if it wasn't for this guy. He gave me the vision, man. And, you want to be fast like Isaiah, and you want to shoot like Bird, rebound like Barkley, pass like Magic, be dominant like Shaq. But, man, I wanted to be like Mike. You know what I mean? I remember the first time I played against him. And I walked out on the court and I looked at him, and for the first time in my life, a human being didn't look real to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if y'all watch the Chappelle Show, but he talked about a certain incident where he seen somebody sing Rick James. And like, I literally seen his aura. It looked like he was glowing. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, like, man, that's Mike. And I'm looking at him. I can't stop looking at him. Like, I'm looking at his shoes and I'm like, Man, he got on the Jordans. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, Jordan has the stats and the championships, but another important part for him was the mark he left on the game of basketball. In his return to the league, sports writers were upset because it meant that Jordan would have to be on almost every headline. An article written by Sean Devaney states Jordan's return would be entertaining for most, but not for sports writers, presumably because it means more work. After all, how many synonyms for great are available to us? How many ways can we twist air into clever headlines? This is how Jordan reached the hearts of so many around the world, forever changing the game of basketball and going down as the greatest to ever do it.